Hi everyone, my name is Tintseh, also known as Dennis. That's my government name. I'm a photographer and a storyteller based in Nairobi, enjoying the art of creating through events, lifestyle, photography and travel, as well as fashion and documentary work here and there. Yeah, that's Tintseh in a nutshell. So a creator. I grew up in a town called Siakago. It's in Embu sides, and I grew up there. And then I came to Nairobi when I was 17, like now permanently. Yeah, I moved to satellite sites, Kangware. That's where I started everything. Everything started there, from my photography journey, my dance career, my hustle, a lot of patch-ups that have actually led me to who I am right now. So I'd say the hustle and the grind upbringing came from satellite, but my childhood I was in Siakago and Embu. So how I started my photography journey is always a very interesting path for me because a very interesting story for me because I was a dancer. When I came to Nairobi, my goal was to study information technology, and I also joined Sitam Valley Road, and I was a dancer. So one day I was at a dance event, and one of the guys gave me a camera to hold. I was like, okay, this is interesting. And I'd say my photography journey came out of a curiosity and necessity. Curiosity whereby I took the pictures. He came back, he was like, you took this? I was like, yeah. He's like, okay, these are pretty cool. So I got interested. I was like, okay, this is interesting. And I think when I patched it back when I was younger, my mom once told me I was very keen on cameras. So now at this age now, I think it was just like an affirmation of the fire. And took one picture, took two, asked him if I could tag along, bumped into a very good photographer also back then called Anili. This was in 2010 thereabout, just when I joined dance. So they were part of the dance cruise. And yeah, I think once I did that, I got interested, I started shooting. And I realized that I could make a few coins off it as well as telling my story. And from my upbringing, I knew this could make me extra coins, so why not? So I started now patching both. Got a job as a graphic designer. I had dropped my IT by then now when I was getting fully into photography. Got a job as a graphic designer. So the company always needed pictures. So during sports day, because it was a university, would go to the field and I'd be the one to take the pictures. And over the weekends, at times I'd not return the camera to the office now. I'd do it for my own hassles, you know. And over time, I bumped into Savara, South Seoul, at an art gallery now. And I believe when I found that I was very interested in photography now, and I had now done a few shadows, you know, following guys, seeing what they do, I was confident now, like I could shoot. So I told South Seoul one day, I'd love to shoot for you guys. This was in April of that year. And I think it took me about 9 months before they called me, of which they were calling the wrong Dennis, but it happened to be me. So I said I'd do the gig. That was Anyiko. And I think from there, everything just picked up. But I'd always say my photography journey it's a whole movie by itself if I was to do it. It's a lot of stories that have made me who I am and made me see the stories I see and how I see them. And a lot of opportunities that you don't even expect at times, you know. But also the goal is you improve your skill, you always try to do better. And maybe this opportunity will always find you ready. Yeah. But come look for me for a cup of tea and a longer interview for that story. But every time the story changes as we grow, because there are new stories that add on, you know. Probably now getting into directors and all that. I think I'd say one of the biggest lessons that I work with even to date is it's nothing new. And by this I mean it's a way of embracing that whatever every step and every point of the journey you're at as a photographer and the challenges that come with it, there are other people before you who've gone through that path. They've all come out always stronger if you follow the path. We know the rules of life. And whether it's the clients not paying, whether it's your projects not getting the traction you feel like which you need, which first of all, don't create for traction, create for yourself. I think the lessons also perseverance with, as I said, my photography journey, I think the distractions I had, having to juggle Do I do school? Do I do hustle and sell sneakers, and do a few other jobs, sell gas and all that to balance everything as you want to take photography? Funny, interesting story. I once went to Caramel back in the days and I was being paid 2,500. I'd hired a camera. Actually, I was being paid 3,000 shillings and I was like, I'm a baller, because that's a starting fee for most of the photographers. But I remember I had hired a camera. I was to return it and then I went and bought water at Caramel. Caramel, the big glass water was 950. So I gave the cash, kafungua maji. So now I've been paid. I need to pay for the camera 1,000. 1,000 imeenda na maji. I can't use matatu because I have someone's camera. I need to pay a taxi to get home. And see now, those are the things that at times you might feel disappointed, like, what is all this? But also, you see, when you're creating, I think one of the lessons I've learned the most is create for yourself. Create the art that inspires you, that you enjoy, and trust you me, it will be paid for. It will be paid for. The other lesson I'd say is every shutter that you click is a step forward to you being great. That's the biggest. Every shutter. So even if it looks bad, it's fine. Just continue. Because you'll never have perfect pictures every day. Trust me, you'll have some bad images. And even guys will tell you your work is bad. But it's fine. That's normal. You can't please everyone. For me, that I did when I was actually dancing more. It was through my dance days. Because I had realized that I needed to go for practice. And now that I lived in Satellite, and my uncle used to run a shop near a stage, I had known a lot of these guys. So they also knew me, they come and say they change. So now I started dandiaing the mats to Valley Road for free. Then I realized if I call guys in the evening, I can make an extra 100 bob or 200 bob. So why not? I think the Geekosh one also was because, now you're in school, you can see people, because I love fashion from the word go. So I was with a friend of mine called Joshua. So we used to go to Geekosh, get Converse for like 300, 400 bob, clean them up, go back to school maybe, classes where I was now doing my graphics at Zetech. And then or go to Valley Road on Sundays. There's that one kid who wants some clean sneakers. So we'd sell that. And I think it was a way for us to upkeep because I did not want to ask my parents for money at that time. I was living alone now by 18. So I was just trying to make things work. I remember also part of the journey was me almost being kicked out in a house, but the rent was 2,000 bob. And I couldn't make it, so I had to go cut the barbas. That hood style. So it's been a very interesting journey, honestly. And every day I sit down. I don't tell it often to like on screen, but people who know me close, they actually know it, and we always laugh about it at times, And so it's not. I'm not saying that that's the path everyone should follow. Of course, everyone has their own paths. But whichever path you're on, if it feels like it's hard for you, just take the extra step maybe. It might make sense. It might just be a corner that you're not seeing. The experiences, as we always say, experiences in life will always shape you. Either for the better or the worse, it's up to you for you to choose. For me, I think everything that I've done so far helped me a lot in terms of fashion because we know dancers are very fashion directed. And so me seeing them pair the fashion items as a photographer, now I had access to shoot them. I think also the idea of just me being in the urban life, that whole very fast life of the city, made me realize that street photography is really interesting. And for those who have been following my work for the longest, they know street photography in Nairobi is one of the things I'll always be doing from the era of the days of the streets hours, KE, and all that night bandits thing, And I think the whole perseverance of understanding that every day is not a beautiful day, but it's okay. Now through the hassles, when you don't make sales, and then career-wise when you're not getting clients as you would expect, I think having that whole experience in everything that I've done so far it's like a big molding machine for me that I just, at times I tap back to it, just tap back to there's this other guy back here. Because right now, well, we can see we've improved the work, the gear, the art, the rate cards. Everything now it's a bit more successful than back then, And now we can say the career is photography. It's not like now a passion anymore for me. It's now a passion that has turned into a career. So the lessons will always shape you if you allow it for the better. I think one of the challenges I'd say, and this goes to I think most of the photographers who I'd say we started working with together with on the journey or were together with us back that's 10 years ago. I think I'm clocking 10 years this year officially, like pro. Yeah, so August 8th, I got my first camera. I was on Wabera Street. That's where I took my first picture of JW, I think. Yeah. The challenge is us shooting in town was hard. We used to get arrested, you know, you know that. And right now, me seeing, even walking here today, I'm seeing guys with, shooting just across the corner. I'm like, take advantage of it, yes, but also, I think some people may abuse it. So also, it's a thin line, because if you flood it too much with low quality of work, just because you can make a few tunes, now you're ruining the art, because that's no longer the art that we are supposed to be making as photographers. I always say we just paid like Picasso is paid. It's the beauty of the art. That's what you create. I'd say also, I would advise to every young photographer out there who's coming up, I'd say use social media. That's your biggest billboard right now. And connect with guys, ask us questions. Maybe you might feel like somebody might not respond to you, and actually they respond. And at times, of course, people miss messages. It's a busy social media world, or you send the message in the wrong way, and people are human, You might be needing advice, but you come attacking people online and they won't respond to you. So I think it's use social media for your good, and take advantage of the ease of connectivity amongst other guys who would look as inspiring photographers. Have chats with them, look at their workflows, Ask them for critique of your work. Don't be scared to be told it's bad. That's the best way you can learn it. Yeah.
How's that relationship?
I think, so how I've known Cameras Africa, I'd say it's, my relationship grew with them fully from 2017-18, when I started working with brands that they were stocking, e.g. Canon. And I think they were very helpful, also helping me gather the accessories that I'd need for the camera that I was working with. I'd come here, ask Kapil or Parag, I need a beauty dish. What do you have? He's like, I have a 105 and I have this. So also them advising you, and now you're fully getting into full pro mode. And them offering you, because at times, like for the past 2 years, the dollar has been a mess. And shipping things to Kenya is hectic. And them having stock here, it's easy for you to come into the store and like the dollar change is not that much actually with the prices here. Because I know at times in Kenya we are scared of that whole, tutapata BH cheaper, But you look at the shipping cost nowadays, you're like, you know what? Actually, it's cheaper here actually. Recently, I just got my filters, like my K&F filters here, but very cheap. So I think I'd say Cameras Africa for me, it's one of those brands and companies that excuse me, we've had a very beautiful working relationship with, in terms of even the gear I get, and at times the process of payment also, it's very easy and workable. We're photographers who at times our jobs don't come in quick. You need it today, but I just tell the guys, because of the faith I have in them, send me this, give me till the evening, please, I'm on set. I remember there's a day I was shooting and I was using the R that day, and I don't know what had happened. And my assistant tells me the camera is not going on. I always charge my gear a day before. All gear. So I'm like, what do you mean? I charge the batteries. So I check, I'm on set. A CEO of a very big company is waiting for their company portraits. And I call Parag and I'm like, Parag, this camera is doing 1, 2, 3. He's like, where are you? I'm like, I'm in Upper Hill. He's like, okay, I'll send you an RP, you shoot, send that to us, we see what's wrong. And I think for me and he didn't charge me for that, And I was like, wow, that's actually a very good gesture, because I shot, client didn't understand what was exactly happening, but I had mentioned to them that there was a delay, there was a technical issue, of course. Photographers, please communicate with your clients, be honest with them, They trust you with their checks and all that, so please just be honest. If you can't deliver, just say I can't. So I think for me, them sending me that camera, I used it for like 2 weeks actually as they were repairing mine. It got fixed. I brought it, and I've seen also them do workshops where different brands and different activities like camera cleaning. So always, I think if photographers are keen, that's one of the pages that can always be keen to see what's happening in the space of photography, because they're not biased to any brand right now. I think it's what you interest, and I'm sure if you ask for a shipment, they'll bring it for you. Because we've done that also, you're like, I want this. They're like, okay, then next token is gonna come. Yeah.
Good relationship.
A very, very great for me. I think I'm one of the, I'd say, beneficiary. Yeah, but it's been a beautiful relationship, and I see it just growing better now from here because of the plans we have for the next few seasons to come, God willing. Yeah. Of the gear that I've gotten to purchase from Cameras Africa, my favorite was when I purchased the R5, which happened after I was shooting an event and a laser beam hit my R. So that's why even actually nowadays, for the people who know me, I go to an event and I ask, do you have lasers? Because I won't turn on the camera. If they're there, tukosane too. I think the R5 right now, and I pair it with an Ultra 50mm, the 1.4. We are looking for the RF lens to pair it with. I think those two for me. I like the 50mm. I've started using the R35 recently, the RF one, but I'm still not fully. I think right now I can leave the 35 yet, but I can't leave the 50. Or if I take the 35, I'll still have my 50. I think the other pair that I like pairing is, of course, because of my travel, and I'm not fully wildlife photographer, so my 70 to 200, the adapter on the R5, pretty decent. So my go-to gear always, I think, that I've collected now, that you'll find always in my camera bag is, of course, the camera body, the batteries, the 50mm, and a zoom. So those.
Other accessories?
A speed light, probably the Pixel 800 standard that I use. I have a couple of K&F filters and ND filters, polarizers. So cleaning kit, which actually I need to get a new one, because so that's something I know they stock. Yeah, so my bag is pretty simple, because also with the nature of my work, moving at events, you don't want a heavy bag. And actually I got the bag here too. It's pretty decent. It's a Vanguard bag that'll serve me well. Yeah. A tip that I'd give to every upcoming, and even, of course, any photographer out there who would feel like it would work for them, is never stop shooting, man. Like, always create for yourself and never stop shooting. It may look bad today, it may look good tomorrow, it may look messy, but at times you can patch them up, And yeah, make a lot of personal projects. That's where you build your skill at. That's where you understand your gear the best and you understand your creative process. I know mine, if I'm doing personal projects, I prefer shooting from 4 p.m. to midnight, more than during the morning hours. So such things, you'll understand how your brain and your creative flow comes out. So don't stop shooting. Don't worry about the gear, but also get something decent. It's a very fast moving world of technology. So I won't lie to you to go get an old camera unless you're into vintage. But yeah, if you want to keep up with the current creative and quality of work, I think if you can invest in good gear, well and good. If not, work with what you have as you grow towards it. It's a growth. Keep shooting.